Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today we will be reviewing the UltraFire UF1508. The light was sent to me for review by Fastech, so if you're after a mid-size zoomy that will be a good thrower, I'll leave a link in the description. And right now I've got a spider crawling towards me. Ugh. Maybe we should just get the review started. There, I just caught it. There's a spider there. That's what you get when you work inside a shed. Or I should just say, Australia. Alright guys, so here's the light. It's the UltraFire UF1508. I guess the UF only stands for UltraFire anyway. So it might be a bit redundant saying UF1508 if you say UltraFire too. Anyway, I'll do this video. I'll try and wrap it up fairly quick. And then I want to do a modding video of this and see how many KCD we can get out of this with a few simple mods. So from its length, you can already see it can fit two 18650s in it, which I think is a pretty good thing because it gives you the ability to run like a XHP 70 or a XHP 50 if you do want to mod this. If you don't want to mod it, it actually comes very well equipped, which is what we'll run over now. All these specs are actually done by me because UltraFire don't really give you very many specs. So basically included in the package, all you really get is this lanyard that's already attached here. That's the lanyard there. And you get the extension tube, and that's pretty much it. You don't really get anything else. It comes in a plain box, but pretty much that's what you get in these things. Build wise, you do get a quality glass lens. It's not AR coated, but I was actually surprised to see it is glass and not acrylic or plastic. Which is pretty cool. I think they use kind of like Perspex style plastic for these lenses too, but this one is glass. Obviously glass has its pros and cons, you know. It's a bit easier to smash and it's heavier, but it is better for optical light transfer in a zoomy compared to the plastic ones. So it's using hard anodizing type 3. So far, you know, I've had this now for quite a while and it's held up pretty well. So the anodizing is like the dark black. It's not the shiny dark black what you'd find on hard anodizing type 2. So it is pretty easy to tell it is a type 3 anodizing on this light. It's made out of aluminium alloy, which you would expect. Pretty much that's all you're going to find on these style lights. It's IPX65 water resistant in heavy rain. So basically, you know, it does have O-rings everywhere, which I'll show you soon. It's probably better than IP65, but maybe UltraFire only rated it at that for some weird reason. I'm not sure. You know, when you get UltraFires, their specs are a bit all over the place. 1 meter drop resistance, because it is using a buck driver. It is running a 3-volt LED in here. Drop resistance isn't going to be the best, but we'll pull it apart and show you the driver in a minute. Now we'll just run over the size. So basically in single configuration, so you can run this either with two 18650s or one. With one tube on, the size is 150 mils. With both tubes on, so right now it is 220.5 millimeters in length. The head diameter is 54 mils, so you can see it's a pretty big head. Tube diameter is 26 millimeters, so somewhere around about here. Tail diameter is 28 millimeters. It weighs 296 grams, so it is fairly heavy, but probably not really much heavier than most double cell lights anyway. And the lens width is 48 millimeters. I thought it was going to be a 50 mil lens, but it's only 48. But it is kind of curved a lot higher than most other lights, which I'll show you guys later. All these specs were all measured by me too, so they could be off by a few centimeters, just keep that in mind, but I did try and measure them the best that I could. So basically I measured the stock Cree XML2, so it's using a Cree XML2. The bin is either a U2 to a U4 bin. I can't decipher which bin it is. But with that stock LED, we get around 62,325 CDs, which is about 500 meters of throw, somewhere around about there. So as I said, it's using a Cree XML2. I'll show you guys the LED after. It's a bit hard for me to tell exactly if it's a U2 or a U4 bin. It's on a copper MCPB, which appears to be pretty thick, but it is really hard to get out of there. A interesting fact is this can be changed around with different pills. It's kind of made like the Brynite or the Autopros. Basically, I think that it's made by the same factory, and then they just rebadge this one UltraFire. The pill in this weighs 36 grams, which is super heavy. It should be able to take a lot of power. You fit a 20mm LED board in here and a 17mm driver. So the stock driver is 17 mils, and it comes with 5 modes, and it's a buck driver. So I have to write down all the specs myself, because I've done pretty much everything here. And then I wrote something to my niece. I wrote Sienna is a smelly, and she wrote Chris is a bum. Haha. So I just got ripped there. One more sheet of specs. So basically 5 modes with 1 or 2 18650s. It is using a reverse clicky, so you know, easy to change modes. It does have, you know, the ubiquitous strobe and SOS, but because it's a reverse clicky, it doesn't really matter too much. It does have next memory mode, so let's just say that's high, and I'll turn it off and then turn it on, and then it'll be on medium. So it does have next memory mode. So basically modes and outputs are measured by me. I did pretty much measure the same outputs on 1 or 2 cells. On high mode you get 1050 lumens at about 2.5 hours. Medium mode about 550 lumens at 5 hours. Low mode 200 lumens at 15 hours. Strobe is 1050 lumens and SOS is 1050 lumens. That's pretty much all the specs that I wrote down. So I think we should pretty much pull this thing apart now and see how it is inside. Alright guys, so first and foremost I'll say, you know, kind of when you buy an UltraFire, you kind of don't know what to expect always, but Fastech seem to be sourcing some really good UltraFire products. I just bought an UltraFire F13 from them in January, and a 502B, I believe it is, the ones that have the P60 style pills. I bought those out of my own money, and you know, they are decent lights. I'll have reviews of them coming up. So this UltraFire is actually built really well, so we'll take it apart and I'll show you guys what I mean. The only weird thing I find on this is the way that you change the zoom is by twisting it here. So unlike other lights that have a twisting body or something fancy, with the UF1508, you twist it like so. So basically that'll be the widest now, and then to get it to zoom you twist out like so. 40 years later, we'll be there. Come on. And then if you do go too far, you can actually take off the head. Today, Junior. So many threads. So we can see the head is now off. To me, that was kind of like a weird thing with a thrower. But I guess like they have their reasons. You know, I can see pros and cons of using this system. It does keep the light smaller. It probably is better for waterproofness, and because there are like a billion little threads here, you know, I don't think it's going to break it. So if we have a look on the inside here, you can see the threads there, that there are a lot of threads, but we'll take it apart, show you guys around the light, and then we'll take it outside as usual. Right now I'm running this on 2 cells, which is what I really like. So that's the rear tail switch there. We'll take out 1 cell, and the other one's probably jammed in there. So if we look here, we can see the threads are kind of smaller, but there are a lot, which is pretty cool to see. They are cut, and they did come lubed. Or they are cut. They are cut well. And then you know, you can also run this on as a 1 cell light. This well, I guess that this will be used, you know, when you want to change modes, tactical ring. So you hold it here and then you change modes like so, or you can use it as an anti-roll device. It doesn't really work as an anti-roll device when when you're using the double battery tubes. So we'll take it further apart. Also, this cannot come off. I don't know if I told you guys, but that cannot come off. You see double O-rings here, which will help keep up the water, which is great. A single O-ring on the back here. So we'll take apart the pill. So we'll have a look inside here, and you can see that the machining work is absolutely amazing. Like, that is like a damn near mirror finish. So, you know, not to blow air out of my ass, but this is a very well built light. So, you know, probably like the bad UltraFires that we get are probably knockoffs. There is a similar light that is pretty much the same, with the same name, I think. It's made by UniqueFire. And UniqueFire is kind of like probably one of the better fire brands. So this could also just be one of theirs, then rebranded as UltraFire, which I don't know why anyone would do, but that is very likely too. So this is the pill. As I said before, the pill weighs, what does the pill weigh? 38 grams, I believe, if I am correct. So we'll pull out the driver. I just cleaned up this desk. Took me 2 hours of cleaning here. I still got bloody spiders. So we'll pull it apart. So you can see the spring seems to be gold plated on it too. So that's a good start. So that's the driver there. A very tiny buck driver. It's a regulated buck driver. So you can see 1 or 2 cell operation. You probably could mod this to get out more power if you wanted to. I would have to take it apart more to have a look at it. One thing, I did take off the centering ring. It does come with a XML centering ring, but I took my one off to test out the beam pattern. But it doesn't really make the beam pattern better. It kind of makes it worse. It makes it more ringy. So I'll put the centering ring back on when we go outside, which is what I forgot to do. This collar here already comes black, so that's also very, very good. I actually blackened out my one on my KO52 or my Brynite B158, whichever one you want to call it. So if we have a look here, you can see it definitely is a XML2. Not sure how well that's focusing. Let me maybe move the camera down. So you can definitely see it's a XML2. I'm not sure what bin it is, but I'm not sure if it's a U2 or a U4 bin, but you can definitely see it's not a T6. It is a better bin than a standard T6. Also, this is glued on here. Like, they use a lot of heat paste, and it's really, really hard for me to get off. And I didn't really particularly want to break it before I get any beam shots, so I'm not going to try to get it off. But if we look really, really close at the edges and where I scratched, you can see it is actually a copper board. So if I angle it down here, around here, you can see that it is a copper board. But honestly, I've tried to get this off and it's so hard. Let me just try. Damn it. Nah, it's on there like really, really good. Actually, this is a 16mm board, isn't it? I said 20mm. I'll take that back. It's a 16mm board. I'll have to update my review, I think. Let me. Where's my calipers? I got my cheaper ones outside here. Yeah, around about 16mm, somewhere around about there. Wrong way, bastard. Yeah, so 16mm. That was my bad. I'll have to update my written review too. I don't know why I thought that was 20mm, but my head is out of whack. So yeah, overall, you know, if we look at the build quality here, this pill is built really, really good. It's on a copper MCPB. I don't know if it's direct thermal path, but I'm going to tear this bastard out and I'm going to put it in petrol and I'm going to de-dome it and hopefully direct drive it, and then that'll be the next video coming out on the channel. I was going to do something, but I forgot. Alright, I've now turned soft. Extremely, extremely soft. So we'll take out the lens and have a quick look at that. And it just fell out anyway. So that is the lens there. Proper glass lens. I can't really bang it because I don't want to break it. So we'll have a look at the head too while we're here. I don't know how well this is focusing, but yeah, you can see the head there. You can see our O-ring there to help keep out water, and the O-ring is actually sitting inside the head itself, so you can see that there's a little lip. I like the nice machining here. The Brynite that I have, or the Auto Probe, whatever you want to call it, actually comes with the same style machining marks, which leads me to believe that these are from the same factory. Even though I've said that now like 8 million times, I believe that they are. The threads here are like super awesome. Like, look, listen. like so even and so nicely done. The only thing I feel is a bit weird is I feel that this system, you know, to undo and do up the light is a little bit weird, but it does work. Like, I guess that this system's better because it allows you to keep the body on the actual light itself, so it's better for heat. So let's just say, you know, this is already a 38 gram pill, which is already massive. So it connects there, but then also this part protrudes out, which means it's going to be touching against the body here. But unlike other lights where the whole body moves around with the head, with the zoomies, this one, you know, only the head moves up and down. So you've got like the whole body there as heat absorption the whole time. And you know, it does have these massive ass heating fins here. Sorry, cooling fins, not heating fins. That would be kind of the reverse of what we want. So I'm kind of blabbering on now, but this is the glass lens there. You can see, looks to be pretty good. My one didn't come cracked or whatnot. Please, I do not want to drop it now and break it, because I really want to turn this into a really nice thrower. You know, no really imperfections there from what I can see. It does protrude up more than my other throwers. I didn't actually bring out another thrower here, but if I would have, you would see that it's actually more round at the top. Not sure how that affects beam pattern, but we'll have a look when we go outside, which I think this review is pretty much done, so we'll test out the light outside now. Alright guys, so 1 second before we go outside, I thought I'll just show you guys how it looks with the centering ring in the LED gasket. So that's how neat it comes out looking. I know it might be a little bit hard for you guys to see, but don't mind the mess that's left here on the bench. There it is there. So it does look really neat and very well polished. Quite like the way it looks actually. Alright guys, so this is the UltraFire UF1508 on its highest mode, with the zoom extended all the way in. So this is pretty much as wide as the beam gets. The driver is kind of like the reverse style. It goes high to low, so I figured it's better off if you start on high mode. You know, you can see it's an okay beam. It's fairly wide, but not as wide as most throwers. Sorry, not as wide as most adjustable zoom lights. But yeah, if you play with the pill, you can pull the pill out a little bit further, and that does actually give you a wider beam. But I don't mind it the way that it is actually. And of course I'm going to turn it into a thrower anyway, so it doesn't really bother me that much. And the majority of people that buy these lights are going to mod them to be a far throwing light anyway. So yeah, we'll go down modes. That's medium mode now. No PWM on medium mode from what I can see. Still more than enough light to light up the backyard. Then we got lowest mode. That's the lowest mode there. The low mode does have a little bit of PWM, but it's not too bad. We'll put the zoom the whole way out, and we'll see how far this thing can throw now. Alright guys, so once again we're going to go from high to low. This is the UF1508. Zoom the whole way out, so on its throwiest mode. I measured about 62,000 lux. I'm not sure how close I was to the mark on that, but it is a pretty huge lens, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, you can get a lot of extra light just by detoming the stock LED and by leaving it at a stock current. So we'll go to the tree at 100 meters and see how it does. So you can see it gets to 100 meters very easy. I can see it there super easy. Even to the tree at 180 meters, it gets there really easy. I can see it. We'll go down a mode to then medium mode. So that's medium mode there with the zoom the whole way out. And that's low mode. So, you know, pretty narrow beam, but that's what you expect from a zoomie. Now we will compare it to some other lights and see how it does. Alright guys, probably the last one that I want to show you is if you adjust the pill out on the UF1508, it does change the beam pattern to a more favourable beam pattern, I think. That just changed modes when I was stuffing around with it. But we'll go in the whole way. We'll see how much wider the beam pattern is now with the pill adjusted. So we've got a cycle modes, but that's now high mode with the pill the whole way in. So you can see it's a much wider beam pattern right now. Not a huge difference, but it probably is more usable than the stock beam pattern. You know, I guess if you wanted to adjust the pill and make it sit higher and closer to the glass, that's probably going to give you a better beam pattern or a more friendlier beam pattern. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the throw butt, so I'm going to keep my one stock for now because I want to use it as a thrower. But in the future, if need be, I know that there's a few options I can do to tweak this light to make it perfect the way that I want it. Alright guys, so I don't have very many stock zoomies, so what I've done to keep it fairly fair was I got a stock S2 Plus here to the right, which is already on. So low, medium, high. And over here to this side, I got the UF1508 on high mode too. What I've done with the UF1508 is I moved the pill forward, so if we can see now, the beam is much wider. But yeah, so you know, output wise, very similar. I think it's pretty hard to tell because there is kind of different beam patterns. It's a cold white on the UF1508. But yeah, so it competes fairly well with a stock S2 Plus, which is what you would expect because output is pretty much the same on both of these lights. Obviously, beam pattern can be adjusted on the UF1508, while on the S2 Plus it can't be. Alright guys, now we've got the UF1508 on, and I hope you just heard those cats because those cats were just in my yard before. UF1508 on. And to the right we've got the Eagle Eye X6, which is got a XML2 in it on direct drive. So you can see there's not going to be any comparison here. Well, I was just trying to think of random lights that may have similar style beam pattern. In course, the Eagle Eye X6 is a flatter, but also kind of it throws a little bit far, not too far. I thought it'd be a pretty good way to test them both. You know, honestly, like, although this is running direct drive on an XML2, the Eagle Eye X6, there isn't too much output difference. There'll only be a few hundred lumens between these two. And it just stepped down. So next up we'll try my Candle Power 4 oncometer and see how it does against the UF1508. Alright guys, so those of you that missed my last video, it was on this modded Candle Power Forum commenter. So basically I've got a de-domed XP G2 in here, so it's not going to be the brightest, but basically it does still have a super wide beam, which is a lot wider than the UF1508, and it does also throw extremely well. So I'll try and make these two as fair as I can in beam size. So UF1508 to the left and Candle Power 4 oncometer to the right. The oncometer isn't going to be particularly bright, but it does throw really well. So both of these lights are zoomed pretty equally, but obviously I can zoom the Candle Power 4 oncometer out more, and then you can zoom it in. So I'll zoom both lights the whole way in. It's a bit harder to turn one-handed on the UF1508, so I'll have to put the oncometer down. So there we go. I'll put the oncometer down for a sec. Because I was doing it the wrong way around. Spastic. There we go. Okay, so we'll go to the tree with the UF1508 first. So there we are, back at the tree. You can see it makes it there super easy. I'll put the camera up a little bit more. Okay, but now we'll try the oncometer to the same tree. And there we go there, that's the oncometer to the same tree. So basically, once the UF1508 is done up, these two should be pretty similar with throw. So you can see how big of a difference that there is right now. But with a bit of modding, I believe the UF1508 could even be better than the oncometer, which is running about 340 KCD in total. Alright guys, this has been Chris from Everyday Survival, bringing you the review of the UltraFire UF1508. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.